what is going on up here?
I never know, man.
Dayman!
Dayman.
Fighter of the night, man! Champion of the sun! You're a master of karate!
And friendship for everyone.
A Dayman, that's it!
Dayman.
Fighter of the night, man! Champion of the sun! You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone! Dayman!
Dayman.
Fighter of the night, man! Champion of the sun! Hello!
Welcome to a new edition of Size Corner, part of Rick Barry's house on the Bleav Network. I'm really excited to have my next guest on with me. He's a fellow host on the Bleav Network, but he's someone that I used to watch almost religiously on television. I haven't seen him in a while. I see you on Twitter the other day, and I'm like, dude, he's still around. Thank goodness. Wanted to catch up, wanted to see what's going on in life these days. Casey Stern, and I Bleav, I don't have your Twitter account handy. It's at Casey Stern. Is that correct?
We keep it real simple. It's at Casey Stern. It's very creative. It took me a while to come up with that.
You're a comedian also. I love it. And you can follow me on Twitter at DogSurfRoadshow. I'm Cyrus Saatsaz. Dude, you're an East Coast born and raised thoroughbred. What are you up to these days, man? I mean, you're hosting Unfiltered on Bleav. Tell us about that and everything else going on with you.
Yeah, so I just started recently, I guess about 2-3 months ago, doing a podcast. So now there's like 6 people in the world that are alive above the age of 12 that don't have one. There were 7 until me. But I just started doing a podcast called Unfiltered, which you can find on the Bleav Network, and you can also at Casey Stern and YouTube and all the places you get your pods. And to me, I'm really excited about it because I've worked for a long time. I mean, I've done radio for about 20 years, and
oh wow,
and yeah. So even though you know me from doing basketball and doing work on Turner. Correct. I did about 18 years of radio, including 13 seasons being the afternoon drive host for Major League Baseball for Sirius XM. And doing so okay. But I'm used to being under the umbrella of leagues and having to kind of conform to that, and it hasn't always netted me the positive things. It's probably why I got caught dropping an F-bomb on national TV during a pregame show. That. So
that was forgiven, though, man. That was forgiven.
No, hey, look, I forgave myself about a week ago.
Good.
Wednesday. And it was only 7 years later. But no, for me, being able to be in just an environment where you can create your own impact and do the things you want to do. So I'm enjoying that right now. I'm working on things in terms of getting back into national radio and television. I was because of and some people know and can certainly look up some of the stuff that's happened with me. But because of some family things, I had to concentrate on family for a while. And, I don't regret that decision at all. Priorities are what they are. A lot of the people listening are moms and dads, and you'd all do the same thing. So, now I'm kind of like, out from under my own kind of, box of stress and back out into sports. And I'm excited, man. So I don't know what will continue to develop in terms of other opportunities. But for the first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to be able to kind of create a podcast, and I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Well, and the name is awesome. I'm guessing you call it Unfiltered because you just don't have the restrictions, the inhibitions of corporate media kind of, preventing certain topics or words or, anything really being preventing you from covering these things. Dude, I have a radio background as well. I worked in sports radio for, I think, 15 years. And then my main job's now I'm a teacher, I'm a professor. But I still
nice. Okay.
Podcast stuff. Yeah. But I can't get away from this, man. I just, and I love Bleav, and I also do Locked On Warriors. But dude, we miss you. I
appreciate that, man. Very much. Thank you.
Dude, of course, man. Like you're some people you can just convey through TV. They're just good people, and then there's some people that you're like, I don't know about them yet, but
I know some of those people.
You transferred clearly. You transferred clearly through the television screen. You were in our homes, and you fit right in, man. That's the best way I can describe it.
Thank you.
I'm a basketball junkie, dude. I loved Inside the NBA. I used to see you on there a lot. I also loved NBA on TV. NBA TV used to be on there a lot. Are you still on top of basketball? I mean, I feel like
Oh
baseball is
yeah.
more your sport. Okay.
Constant. Yeah. I mean, I actually. So it's weird because even hockey, which is the only sport I've actually of the major four not worked, I'm a huge fan of. So I'm a big fan of all the sports, but basketball's always been my favorite to play, even though I'm not the tallest human. I actually made it in doing 4 seasons at NBA TV. I made it only having to take one shot in the million demos that we did, and I was Klay Thompson, and I hit the shot, and I promised I would never take another shot again, and I never did. In some demo I was doing with Dennis Scott and Grant Hill, and I said I would never take another shot again, and I never did. So I would say my usage rate was real low, but I batted 1,000. But basketball's always been my favorite sport, so to play. I love baseball. I've worked in it for 20 years, so it's hard to kind of get away from it. I did it at Turner for a long time as well. But yeah, I'm big on basketball. And on Unfiltered, we talk about all the different sports. So even though, my guests thus far have been like Dusty Baker, Matt Holliday, Todd Frazier, baseball related, I'm going to have some of my basketball guys on there, and I'm still good friends with a lot of those guys, and a lot of them live here in Atlanta. And I did college for them for 3 years too. So, I can pretty much, as long as I'm not a golf guy. It's weird. It's like everyone else is a golf guy. I did spring training for I don't know, 17 years, and I went out to Arizona, and I like going to the steakhouses and during the day sit at the pool, and everybody else just wants to go to a golf course. I'm not a golf dude. But other than that, I'm your guy. Yeah.
I want to clarify. I've been to spring training. I did it for work. Loved it.
It's great.
Golf never entered the equation. Like for me, it was the pool.
Yeah.
A lot of boozing.
Yes.
My degenerate buddy Chris Townsend dragged us to the strip clubs.
Okay.
Mixed reviews on that. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
I'm
again,
from New York, so anywhere outside of New York. No offense to Lou Williams and whoever's going to get chicken wings at Magic City here in Atlanta, but
Well, Atlanta is
the best strip clubs
right?
they do have, but New York is the spot for that. Yeah.
I'm going to get this discussion out of the degenerate zone in a second here, but no, I'm with you, man. Like I like golf, but I'm not like, it's not a religion for me. Like some people treat it as. It's so dude, like so New York is, I mean, I feel like you're a New York boy. Is that fair to say? Like,
born and raised in New York. Yes.
So what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets, man? Give me some insights on that, because the Warriors are they're the only team who is repeatedly mentioned as, I feel like, a realistic source for Kevin Durant. Other teams are mentioned. There's no reports though, but you keep seeing reports about KD and the Warriors. I think it's going to happen. I really do. Your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. I think if it was up to KD, he'd be in Miami. And, I think the problem with the Miami situation is, and this is the problem with this whole thing, right? And remind us, we'll go back to Brooklyn because Kyrie I would like to discuss. Because, I mean,
happily,
he is the biggest pain in the ass in the sport.
Yes.
I can't even deal with it. I really can't even deal with it. Even the Drew League, he didn't show up. Like, even the Drew League, like, he and LeBron had this whole, like, promoted day, and he didn't show up, and they didn't know why. Like, what an ass. I can't stand Kyrie. Right, and I'm a Knicks fan. I like the Nets, but I'm a Knicks fan. But it has nothing to do with that. I don't want him to play for the Knicks. I'd rather
I'm with you,
Jalen
man.
Brunson. All right, but here's the thing. I think Durant would like to go to Miami. The problem is that these guys try and do here's where I want to get traded to, but here are the players that have to still be on the team when I get there. So you can't trade them for me. So I want to play with Jimmy, and I want to play with Kyle Lowry and Bam, and you figure the rest of the shit out, right? Like, you can't do that. Like, I can't trade Tyler Hero and a bunch of dudes to go get Kevin Durant. So, but I would say this, because it's Pat Riley, and because of the star power love that they have in Miami, and because of the way they lured LeBron, and because of the way that, Dwayne Wade's never going back there, and then they made up that relationship. If you asked me first of all, I don't think KD is going to get traded this offseason.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's possible to get. Here's the thing: they're not held to a stake. Like, nobody. They've got all this term left on this deal, and KD, unlike Kyrie, is a basketball player. He wants to play. So even if he's pissed off, he's gonna play and try and win because he wants to hoop, right? If they can't move him. But I think Miami would be the other team. If I was a Golden State fan, I'd want Kevin Durant back. But the one team I'd be concerned about would be Miami, because I think it would have to be really – I don't know how they would do it. They might have to trade somewhere else, get some picks, and then get another player they don't currently have, right? Another star, and move him in a 3-team deal. But
Right.
it's Pat Riley and it's Miami. I would be a little bit concerned about them trying to figure that out because
I hear
it's
you,
Pat.
man.
Because it's
And
Pat.
here's why. And listen, because Dub Nation right now is like so split on this. I'm getting
Really?
a lot of Oh yeah, I'm getting a lot of vitriol. I'll explain why. Because Dub Nation loves Kuminga. They love Moses Moody. They love Jordan Poole. James Wiseman is. I think people will live with him going away because we haven't seen anything from him yet, really. But they love these kids. And realistically, the Nets, I'm guessing, want all of them. There's no way the Warriors are giving all those pieces up. But Joe Lacob publicly said a week ago they're not going to give extensions to both Wiggins and Jordan Poole. And those are coming up. Wiggins is a free agent in a year, Jordan Poole in 2 years. And Jordan Poole wants probably a max. And the Warriors have flat out said we're not doing both of them. And KD is one contract versus two. Lacob loves Kevin Durant. He's retired his number after 3 years. It's crazy. So, and again, so I really think if he's going to go anywhere, I just don't see any other team offering more for KD. And KD said he's open to coming back.
Well, here's the thing. I think Brooklyn wants to win now. So if you want to jump in front of the Warriors, look, and I like Jordan Poole. I love what Wiggins did. And to me, he's still got an untapped ceiling because we're seeing him. Look at the growth he's had.
Yes.
People don't realize in the NBA, when you get drafted in these shitty organizations, like you want to know how great Devin Booker is? Look what happened to Josh Jackson, who went to the Suns third in the draft. And look what happened to Devin Booker. Like he somehow withstood, and Chris Paul didn't come 2 years later. That's how great Devin Booker is, how much of a winner. Is that the franchise and all those coaches and didn't even faze him, right? Wiggins was in Minnesota. You get him in Golden State. Look what's happened to him. I would rather have him. But the thing on Durant is that if you can get Kevin Durant, I'm sorry, you trade let's not get moody about it. You trade all those guys. It's Kevin Durant.
It's Kevin Durant. Exactly.
It's Kevin Durant. Because the other thing is that I think people need to realize, and I've always said this in all sports, you cannot repeat as a champion being the same as you were the year before.
True.
You can't. You can be the same personnel if two guys on your own team jumped to a next level. You can go and make a trade and get better because everyone else now sees the stage you've set and that standard, and they are now reaching to that. You now have to reach to another level. The team that just won will not be good enough to win again. It won't be. So you have to be better than that. Now, if you go get Kevin Durant, nobody reaching that level. I mean, that's the end of that. So I think if you could do it, you got to do it. And good for Steph for being okay with it. I mean, good for him.
I'm wholeheartedly with you. And the reason why Dub Nation is so hesitant is because KD's older. He's 33 going on 34. Wiggins is 27. Poole's 22. So the idea of bringing this older player back in for this young core that they think could turn into like the next great trio similar to Clay, Dre, and Steph is turning a lot of people off. I don't think you can give Kuminga and Moody. I think that's where the line is drawn. You got to pick one or the other if you're the Nets. But I'm okay with Wiggins. I'm okay with Wiseman and Poole. Poole hurts a little bit, but so you're saying that's not enough for the Nets? Like the Nets would prefer Durant one more year versus bringing in like Wiggins, Poole, Wiseman, and either Kuminga.
Nothing's enough. Nothing's enough for Kevin Durant in an equal value. I mean, if we're being honest, nothing is. This isn't a baseball team. It's an NBA team. So in an NBA team, one guy on the floor, right, and playing 45 minutes in a playoff game, like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, right, out west, they can't do – they're only two guys. The Angels are a mess, and they can't win, even though they've got those two players. But a Kevin Durant and what he does for you, you could give me all those guys and the rotational minutes they're going to play, and none of them – combined, you just can't give me equal value for Kevin Durant. He's the best player on earth, right? I mean, he's the best player in the world right now. So, and there's no equivalent of him. So, if I'm Brooklyn, all I'm saying is people act like you have to deal him. I think sometimes when you get the Ben Simmons Philadelphia kind of a scenario, you get stuck. But I don't think KD would sit out. I think KD would play basketball. He wants to hoop. So my point is, that. So, you could say we're trying to trade you, but, either Kevin Durant has to open up where he's willing to go to, and then maybe that would become more interesting. Because, look, the Knicks were never mentioned, right? He's not going to go to New York, and the Nets are not going to trade with the Knicks. But the Knicks could try and make a trade for Kevin Durant.
True.
The Knicks could have tried to use R.J. Barrett and a bunch of picks and tried to trade for right. So right now it seems like Miami, Golden State, or he ends up on Brooklyn to start next year. That's the way I look at it. But
would you agree or disagree with me on this? I think R.J. Barrett's value is much higher than his worth actually is. Would you trade him right now? I would.
No, I would. I don't want to trade him. I would move right now, and I think the Knicks should. In the situation they're in, you can't worry about championships when you don't even have playoff games. You got to get playoff games. So if I'm the Knicks, if I got to trade 6 of the 8 first-round picks they have, and Emmanuel Quickly, and 3 other guys at the end of the bench, and go get Donovan Mitchell, I'm doing it. Now, is Donovan Mitchell worth 6 first-rounders? No, but to the Knicks, is he? Yes. Because if the Knicks could put Donovan Mitchell with Brunson and Barrett and Randall, they're a playoff team in the East every one of the next 4 years. And when you put playoff games at the Garden for 4 years in a row, all of a sudden, now you have, again, them on national TV. Now, again, you have free agents watching and saying, holy crap, that's an amazing environment. You don't have any of that right now. What it'll do to turn your franchise back to relevance is worth it. The Knicks, absolutely, if they can get Donovan Mitchell, should do it because immediately they're a given as a playoff team in a 4-5 seed area every year in the East if they get them.
You're absolutely right, man. I want to shift gears a second here.
Sure.
I have another show called Locked On Warriors, and I got to bring you on that, dude. That's got a really big audience, and I love it. I think we'd have a lot of fun on there.
Yeah, sure.
But for now, I want to focus on you personally because I think you're a very interesting individual, and just in talking with you, I can understand why you had the radio career. I get all of it immediately. On the NBA on TNT set, you're surrounded by these giants. Like I'm 5'10". I'm happy with that. It's average. I'm not. I wish I was 6 feet plus. So I could play real basketball, but. The cards are dealt with. What are you going to do? You do not look tall compared to Shaq.
5'5". I'm 5'5".
Really?
5'5". 5'5".
Wow. Okay. All right. Because I would have believed if you said 6 feet. I would have believed that. So
no, 5'5". Yeah.
All right. So that's like George Costanza's size, right? I'm not comparing you. I'm sorry.
I prefer to say Tom Cruise or Russell Crowe because
fair. I'm sorry, man. That was a mean thing to say.
Oh God, are you kidding? That's why I'm wearing a hat. I'm already losing my hair, and I don't live with my parents, but I'll eat chicken salad or tuna. It doesn't matter to me. Or is it egg salad?
I'm sorry, dude. No, like I said at the beginning, man.
Oh my God, are you
look
kidding?
Really good, brother. You look good, dude.
I don't care about my height.
Are you a bachelor right now? Are you single?
I am single. I am single.
How is that? Dude, we're the same age, man. I might be venturing into that world again here. Is that brutal?
It's not fun. It's not fun. I don't single life. How is single life? Well, I got 3 kids and they're all under 8 years old. So the problem is, the good news is when I go out with my golden retriever and my kids, everyone wants to talk to us. The bad news is none of them want to talk to me. So
I've had that with the dog. The dog gets attention, but it doesn't seal the deal. You're right.
The dog don't talk back. I'm like eyes up here. It's like De Niro and Analyze This.
No, you're right, dude. My dog passed away 6 months ago. He was my baby.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay, dude. What are you gonna do? But thanks, man. It did hurt. But my angle always was finding bars that were dog friendly.
Yeah, of course. It's your in.
It's your in. And then, but you're right. It doesn't seal the deal. Like 9 times out of 10. They see the dog, and golden retrievers have that same effect, right? He was like an English bulldog boxer mix. They come in, they're like, "Oh my god!" And they're like, "Oh hey," and then that's.
I also hate people, which is like a problem. So I'm actually wearing a shirt that says "People, not a big fan."
I'm a borderline misanthrope, bro. I'm with you.
I really don't like people in general.
I'm with you.
Like I always joke that like the Next Door app is like a reminder of just how shitty the people on this planet are. Like, it's just like literally like I don't open it, but I get these notifications because years ago I went on because they're like, oh, the neighborhood kids, you should like see what's going on. And I went on and I get like these emails, and in the email notification is like the first line of whatever the message is. And even then I'm like, it's like beware, somebody suspicious dropped mail in a mailbox that wasn't the mailman. Like, what are these people doing with their time? Like, what is this horse shit? So I
And
I am single for all of the ladies who are watching, and undersized and overly grumpy humans from Long Island. I'm here. Yeah.
I feel like you and I are cut from the same cloth. I'm 100% with you. All the pandemic did was make me more jaded about humanity. It disgusts me. Like how many ignorant people there are.
Fake and ignorant. Way worse.
Dude, but what, dude? Tell people what the experience was like working at and being on
Yeah,
that
sure.
NBA on TNT stage,
Uh,
being a part of that whole basketball scene. It does look like a family. I know, again, if people Google you,
yeah,
they'll read
it is.
different stuff, but I'm guessing those relationships are still sound. I
Oh
hope
my
they are.
God, yeah. Oh my, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I've still got a lot of close friends there, and
What
it's
was the experience like, man? How can you
it was
summarize it in like
amazing.
whatever time you have left?
It was pretty amazing. I mean, I could tell you, um, Shaq and working with Shaq and Chuck is it it's pretty special. The craziest part I would say that I would bring up to people who just watch is that they happen to be two great humans, and they're their size and who they are and all that they've done in their life, like they don't push that on you. You don't feel that if you're a member of the crew. I would give him shit and talk crap to Charles all the time. I have him in my phone, I think, as Fat Boy, like, and I didn't put it. Yeah, so like I used to mess with him all the time. He never used an ATM machine in his life, which I didn't understand. He told me his whole life that he thought you swallow gum after you're done chewing it. I mean, I've heard some
that.
of the strangest conversations with him, but he's such a terrific. They're both great people. It's a fun set. I remember one of the shows that I was on when I was filling in, because I filled in for Ernie and was like, the apprentice that you like show up in the playbill, and you're like, oh
Right.
shit, this guy instead of whoever's
No,
supposed
you
to
did
be
good.
there.
I
You know,
loved it.
no, but I
loved it.
appreciate that. But I remember the one show that I did with them where they were arguing about Charles never winning a title, and it was like
Yes.
a tennis ball match. You're just looking back and forth, and that kind of went viral. It's like being in the audience and just sitting there and watching like these two larger than life personalities kind of go at it. But they're great people, and everybody at NBA all those guys are. It is a big family. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of basketball. Like those triple headers in the playoffs are like an exorbitant amount of hours. But the most fun is when it's during a halftime or it's in between games or you're watching the games in the green rooms and they're just people. I mean that's really it's in being there doing that. And I was there for 7 years. I did baseball for 7 postseasons there. But doing the 4 years of NBA I did, I would just tell you that they're just great people. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, really good dudes. And it's good to know. Because going back to where we were before, most people are fake as shit. Don't meet your
Yes,
heroes.
exactly.
Don't meet the zeros either. Don't meet anyone, really.
Exactly.
Don't meet anybody. Yeah,
Exactly.
my advice to you, don't meet anyone.
Well, I always tell people, because I teach journalism kids, and so a lot of them are aspiring to get to do what we do, and or something like that, right? Whatever field they're interested in. And I always tell them, man, like, be ready for just the ego, the insecurities. Like, I always tell people I hate going to press boxes because I just feel like people are just looking me up and down and judging me, and like they're like looking at me like competition. It's just toxic, dude. And most of these people really are just incompetent that we're surrounded by. It's true. It's totally true. I'm with you, man. I'm 100% with you. And if I'm wrong about that, please correct me. But yeah. So, anyways, dude, is there any possibility that you might someday be back with them? Like, can I ask that? Can you answer that?
You could ask that. The answer would be no.
Okay. All right.
It's highly doubtful. Yeah, I would
Okay.
say it's highly doubtful. But I have great relationships there, and I love the people, and I think I'll get back into television, and I don't necessarily turn aside that I won't be doing basketball again, but I don't think it'll be with them. I am still here in Atlanta though right now, so at least for
And
now.
is the Atlanta thing like because of the kids? Is that what keeps you there?
Yeah, it was initially. I mean, now it kind of is too. It's just, for me, I'm open to anything. I mean, that's, in this business, it's a very strange business. Everything comes in waves. It's like I'll use a country song because I'm in the country music area. Like Luke Combs, I think it is, when it rains, it pours. It does that both ways. When everything's going well, it's like, wow, this opportunity, that opportunity, like, where the hell are you people? It's like a team that scores no runs and then they get 14 runs in a 4th inning of some random game in May. That's my life. And then it goes the other way. So, at some point I will be doing television again, but it won't be with them. No.
Well, dude, listen, man. I just from this little brief interaction we've had, I could tell. I feel like we could sit down and grab beers, and I'd be a happy person.
Anytime,
dude.
man. Anytime.
Bring her dogs. Try to pick up chicks and strike out. But hey, it's all about the trying.
I don't strike out. I just don't. I can't tolerate anybody long enough. I was like, I don't strike out. No, I don't even take the play.
respect.
I don't even
I do.
I don't even pick up a bat. I just sit down with the dog and I'm like, no, you people play. you guys
Oh,
play?
dude, I'm Pete Incaviglia, man. Either I strike
Oh,
out
Inky.
hard or
Okay. Philly.
am I
Okay.
bombing?
Hey, 93 Phillies. Okay. That's right.
This tried to bat at what 210, but he always had like 30 home runs and kept him in the game for a long time.
Hey.
Dude, and anything you want to promote before we let you go, you can follow Casey Stern on Twitter
Yeah,
again.
follow
At
me
Casey
on Twitter
Stern.
at Casey Stern. Bleav,
Unfiltered.
obviously, and catch Unfiltered. I think you really like it. I mean, look, we do. Not only do I have great guests and I hit topics, but I'm not. One of the things about me and everybody in this industry is different. I'm really not afraid to hit topics people are afraid of, including I just had a pretty spirited 30 minutes I did recently on the athletes not doing the vaccinations. I've talked about the fact that Kyrie is somehow a winner, yet he's never won anything. Kyrie hit one big shot and was never the best player on that team, was a 28-game winner when he had his own team, then cried about not getting the right team, went to Boston, and if LeBron went with the young Tatum and Brown, they'd still be winning championships. Kyrie got outplayed by Gordon Hayward, who was hurt, came back for 4 minutes, then cried that he should have taken more shots, got kicked out of there. I mean, what an asshole. Like, seriously, like, who likes this guy? Like, I don't even understand it. Kyrie Irving is one of these guys who's a great, unbelievable talent, but the idea that he's become some winner, him and Ben Simmons belong together. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, dude. I seriously wonder if KD just saw that. We're like, okay, Kyrie's my boy, but now I got Simmons. I'm like, this is what I'm surrounded.
I think Ben and KD would be great. I think if Kyrie wasn't there, Ben and KD would be amazing because Ben doesn't want to shoot. KD doesn't even need him to create shots, but can you imagine how open he could get even Kevin Durant? Ben and Ben's defense and length with KD, two defenders like that at those sizes, I think Ben and KD and a third guy, like even if Wiggins was there instead of Kyrie, I think you can go win a championship with a wing player like Wiggins and Durant and Ben. Kyrie, who's winning with Kyrie? No one is winning with Kyrie. Nobody. Like, seriously,
Dude,
we never realized LeBron. We always like, wow, how'd you win with Boobie Gibson? We should have said, how'd you win with Kyrie? Nobody wins with Kyrie. Sorry.
I love the Kyrie slander. You forgot two things. One is the Sage thing. Like when I read that report where James Harden was just like when James Harden is looking at you like you're a weirdo, that's you there's something clearly wrong with you. I mean, the guy's like lighting up Sage in a locker room.
He's lost his mind. He thinks he's Pedro Serrano in Major League. I have no idea what the hell's going on with him. So he's not helping nobody,
man.
Joe
Go
Boo.
Boo.
That's it.
Yeah, and then you haven't once mentioned the fact that this man thought the Earth was flat for a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
For a year, he thought this. He believed this.
You could still do that and play basketball. Not everyone's smart, but
that's fair.
But for me, if I were the Nets, I wouldn't want Kyrie.
Hell no.
No.
He is Casey Stern. I appreciate you joining me while you're in your recovery mode, because I know once you're big time again, I'm never going to hear from you. But I
no, and that's not. And by the way, that's not. First of all, I'm never big time, but that's not true. I mean, I was 5 years old wanting to do this for a living, raising my hand in first grade saying I want to be Bob Murphy, the voice of the Mets.
Love it.
And nobody ever thought I would be able to do this and all that stuff. And I worked on Wall Street. I had other jobs, even out of college. And for me, I never forget how difficult it is to break into and just how 1 in a million it is to have the opportunity to do what you love to do, no matter what profession you work in. So you can have me anytime, literally anytime.
Dude, the humility, you have no idea how much I respect that humility, man. Thank you. You seem like really good people, dude. So I'll reach out to you soon because I think you'd be an amazing guest on Warriors.
I love talking sports.
I don't know if you heard Greenberg are cool, and also had Kristen Ledlow. They come on sometimes.
Yeah, I'm friendly with both of them. Yes.
I love you. I love those people. That's good to hear. All right, man. I'm going to let you go. I know you're a busy man. Best of luck with everything, dude. It's family's everything, man. I really do believe that. And just congrats on the 3 kids. I have no kids, and that kills me to this day, but so at least you know you have that. That's really cool, you know.
I appreciate you, man, and literally anytime. And I hope people please yourself, enjoy Unfiltered. I mean, for me, I'm the one thing about I really don't give a shit what people think, right? Other than what I am as a father, right, or a human being. When it comes to sports, you just let it out and be you and do you. These fake takes and all that stuff. Like I'd like Skip Bayless's bank account, but I'm not willing to say dumb shit to get it. So if you want to listen to Unfiltered, go ahead.
Well, you know why? You know why Skip Bayless at least hates on Steph, right? I mean, he hates the LeBron fans so much, and he hates the comparison of LeBron with Jordan. He resents Steph Curry to this day for 2016. That's the only reason. It's crazy.
I think he lights up Sage in the studio or something. I don't know.
Go do. I love you, Casey. Thank you.
We'll
man.
talk soon, man. Be well. Anytime.
Man, faster in my life. Thank you, brother. Casey
Anytime.
Stern, everyone.
Be well.
Check out Unfiltered. Subscribe to it. Listen to it. Thank you. And that was Casey Stern. Love that man. He just bounced on me, though. He closed the window before we were actually done. Look at him just bailing on me super fast. That does it. That's Size Corner. Sometimes I'll bring guests on like that. Sometimes, you know, I think I'm just going to always bring guests on like that. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at Dog Surf Roadshow. You can follow Rick Barry's house at Rick Barry House. You can follow this program specifically on Twitter at Psy Corner Pod. Don't forget our t-shirts. I do have to pump that up. If you followed Rick Barry's Twitter account, Rick Barry's house Twitter account, like Casey texting me right now, like the gentleman that he is. That was awesome. Please do buy our shirts, man. Rick Barry and I, the Hall of Famer, we've launched our own apparel line. 3 shirts and hoodies available. If you just go to the Rick Barry House Twitter account, again, it's at Rick Barry House. The link at the top takes you there, and they're awesome clothes. It's how Rick and I make money on this program. It is not from advertising. I promise you that. So that's our only avenue for making money from this little shindig that we do, that we love to do. I'm really smitten with Casey Stern, man. That's a good person right there. All right, that's it. Till next time. Love